Hey strong people, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com with my Group 3 World's Strongest Man predictions. In Group 3 we have Graham Hicks, Iron Bibi, Dennis Kalle, Robert Oberst, Zydrunas Savickas, and Luke Stoltman. They will be doing the events, which are a load and carry, which is a farmer's walk into 2 sandbags, kettlebell toss, a squat lift, which is with the kegs, you know, with the barrels they drop in with the basket, that whole deal, a bus pull, which that's a harness and rope, not an arm over arm, and a log lift, which is 160 kilograms for reps, clean each, I believe. And number 2 and number 3 will be doing Atlas stones, as you know, I said in a previous video. So I think this is a very interesting group. It's pretty much, they're like, can we get every single amazing presser and just lump them all in one group and have them go head to head in log? So that'll, like, I think it just about, you know, maybe not Stoltman, but, you know, pretty much everyone else would probably win log in their group, or at least have a good chance at it. And, you know, they could get 4th in this one. It's hard to say that Zydrunas doesn't win the log. The load and carry is going to be an interesting event with the farmer's walk and, you know, doing the 2 sandbags. I think Robert Oberst will do really well in that. I think Zydrunas will do well in that. People really underestimate how well he moves. I think Hicks was just a fraction of a second off of Eddie Hall in the loading medley at Britain's earlier this year. So it kind of just depends on who has good transitions in between the event, in between the implements, and who's not affected by the heat, because it's supposed to be very hot. The load and carry will be a very interesting event for Iron Bibi. Iron Bibi really reminds me of, coming into this, how Eddie Hall did a few years ago when he first made his World's Strongest Man debut. You're like, this guy's really strong. He had some events where he just looked unbeatable on, but then he had other ones where he just made mistakes, or it just didn't seem like he was quite, you know, as experienced and ready for that competition. Could be completely wrong. He could just, you know, just shock the world, and I think it's possible he could just make the finals this year. I think it's also more likely that he makes a couple mistakes on some of the more technical events, such as like a kettlebell toss, the load and carry. He didn't look too great on it in his training videos he posted on Instagram. You know, he's very fast in a straight line, like with the yoke or the frame, but picking up implements in between, just didn't look as strong. In kettlebell tosses, we just don't know. The kettlebell toss, that's going to be another interesting event. You know, of course, Zydrunas, I believe, is just going to make it to the finals through this group. I think he's going to win it, and it's going to be between everyone else to kind of really battle through 2nd and 3rd to get into the, you know, the final. I guess the face-off in the stones is how it is, where basically 2nd and 3rd go against each other in the stones to see who advances to the finals. So you don't really want to predict the top 2 in these. So with the kettlebell toss, Stoltman should be in there. I think he's going to lose a lot of points in the squat lift and the log. You know, not that he's subpar in those events. It's just they stacked this group with people that are so good in them. Kettlebell toss might be a bad event for Graham Hicks, possibly. I don't know what his throws are like, but he is, you know, one of the shorter competitors. Always pulling for the shorter competitors, but, you know, it's really going to favor, you know, people like Oberst is really good at a toss. He just needs to make sure he's consistent on that event. And Stoltman as well, I believe. In the squat, Z's just going to win this. Bibi looks like he can squat a house. I'm sure he can. You know, Stoltman's taller. Hicks has a strong squat. He should do well. Dennis Kalle, I think that Dennis Kalle is really the underdog in this heat and won't get as much attention from a lot of the casual fans. He's more done the SCL circuit, but he seems to be really well-rounded. Pretty sure he has the German log lift the German log lift record, I believe, and he just did like a really heavy Atlas stone in his training. He's a strong, well-rounded guy, and he's competed all these SCL events, so he's well apt to do these more traditional strongman events like a load and carry with multiple implements, kettlebell toss, bus pull, etc. But I really believe the squat and the log we can predict fairly well how they're going to go. Except I just, with how stacked these guys are, I think there's a lot of tie. What's really going to come down to, especially on the log, is I think there's going to be a log jam. Like, I think Z's going to do just enough to win. He's going to get one above everyone else. And then it's who's more efficient with their cleaning each rep that's going to, the one guy gets, I think 4 people could get 6, and that one guy who gets 7 and Z gets 8, etc. Is going to be the difference. And I really believe that Graham Hicks is the most efficient with his technique, and he's going to beat Bibby and even possibly Oberst in that for the thing. And he could even beat Z for reps. It's quite possible if he's recovered from his illness. The heat doesn't affect him, and he's in shape. I think Hicks could take the overall on the log. I just don't. I think he might be the most technical in the log, especially clean each. I mean, his technique's great. If you want to watch, just go watch his videos. So I think this really comes down between these events is the bus pull and the kettlebell toss, and who goes through. So I'm going to predict that we end up with Graham Hicks versus Robert Oberst in the Atlas Stones, with Robert Oberst taking that Atlas Stone run head-to-head just because he's like a foot taller, and it's a little bit there. But I think Bibby could just do really well. I think next year is really going to be his year, though, if I want to be fair. And if Stoltman finds his ways into the Stones somehow for that matchup, then no one else wants to see that. I can tell you that, and he could pull it off. And Kalle is well-rounded, and this is a tough group, very evenly matched and tough group, and definitely one to watch. Thanks for watching. Check out all the other videos. Going to be doing these for each group, so be sure to hit subscribe and tune in for all of your latest strongman news and training information.